Yes, you read that title correctly. I looked at all the evidence we have, from ARG websites to in-game dialogue to the files and code of the game, and I think I have figured out all of the main plot beats to Chapter 5 of Deltarune. Before we continue, I would like to say that this is 90% speculation and theorizing and is not confirmed as true yet. It's still good fun to see if we can piece together what all will happen. Without further ado, on with the video. Before we get into all the stretching and theorizing, I think it's best we say what we do know. It's not much, but we can go off of some stuff. Obviously, from the trailer, the most major thing we know is where the chapter is set. The Flower King shop on the east side of the town. The flower theming of the trailer gives this away. I mean, look at it. The only other confirmed thing, to my knowledge, is that the festival is happening in the chapter, likely before the events of the Dark World, as a dedicated Light World section. Now, let's look at what we don't know. If you've been an active part of the Deltarune community, it should come as no surprise that I'm presenting Asgore as the central conflict of Chapter 5. And I'm sure you can guess exactly what evidence I'm about to present. The first bit of evidence is the obvious one. The setting of the chapter being Asgore's shop. Pretty clearly he'd have some form of presence here since this is where he lives and works. Then there's two characters that give dialogue, highly pointing to this. Gerson and, well, Asgore himself. In the Chapter 4 secret boss fight against Gerson, he says that a vast garden of pink and yellow flowers is charred by an inferno of jealousy. This points to none other than Asgore, with the potential of him getting jealous about some interaction between San Centurial and acting out of place, opening the fountain in his own shop and guarding it with his life. Or, you know, the prophecy panel called Boss_3, referring directly to Asgore. With every new chapter, there has been one question that the community has been dying for. The identity of the secret boss of that chapter. And looking through it, there is one main candidate. Flowey the Flower. Well, kind of. Obviously, as Asriel is alive, to our knowledge, it probably can't be the literal Flowey in the same sense as Undertale. But I have reason to believe that Flowey, in a different form, separate from Asriel, is the secret boss. For one, these 7 flowers in the upper floor of the shop. They happen to be colored orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Same of the 6 colors of the souls Flowey absorbs in Undertale. And one extra that is a golden color, almost identical to Flowey himself. And that's not all. With the release of the Chapter 5 trailer and the recent Nintendo Direct, we get a glimpse at the attack I'm showing on screen. Chris in a battle alone against an opponent we can't see. The only time in the trailer we don't see the opponent. The same knife attack as the Cyan Soul section of Undertale's Photoshop Flowey fight. Coincidence? I think not. So, do I think it's the same Flowey we see in Undertale? No. Do I think it's a version of Flowey or a similar character? Almost certainly. I get the slight uncertainty coming from Asgore's possession of a Dark Shard we see in Chapter 4. I feel it wouldn't make sense for Asgore to be a secret boss, given how concrete his presence is. Never before have we been sure 100% of a character being present, and they end up as a secret boss. And I don't think Toby plans to start now. Chapter 3 even threw us off our tracks with the fight against the Knight. Oh, on that note, So, in chapters 3 and 4 of Deltarune, the Roaring Night gained physical presence. Quite obviously, it will have some in chapter 5, but it's hard to see it being nearly as present as it was in chapter 4. I guess that it appears at the end of the chapter, and I wouldn't see it unlikely that it does something similar to chapter 3, interrupting a sequence with Asgore and striking him, leading to a chase right at the end, and, well, we'll get there when we do. So, why do I think this? Well, like I said before, I find it likely that this fountain will be opened by Asgore and not the Knight. That's to say that it's a pretty good bet that the Knight will show up later, like in chapter 3, what with it needing to reach the fountain from wherever it stays when it's not ending the world. At this point, everyone and their dogs knows about Chapter 2 having a not-so-secret, weird route, taken by making Noelle freeze enemies, and eventually equipping her with the Thorn Ring to cast Snowgrave on Birdly. And, well, Chapter 4 is setting something up. See, if you did the weird route in Chapter 2, then Chapter 4's Light World section with Noelle plays out very different. Instead of the normal Yuri, we get a sequence with Chris and Noelle, which leads to us equipping the Thorn Ring back onto Noelle. This obviously isn't for nothing. Also, if you go to deltarune.com/chapter 5, you can reach a page that shows the numbers 1 through 5 in various sizes. We all know what these mean, right? For those who have been living under a rock, the color of the number is corresponding to the presence of the weird route in a specific chapter, with black meaning it does not have a direct weird route and white meaning it does. And the size is how important or big the weird route is lore-wise to the chapter. And as we can see, chapter 5 is the same size and color as 2, hinting that they have the same importance and presence of a weird route. It's likely that Noelle will accompany you in Chapter 5 if you did a Chapter 2 weird route, which tracks with what we've seen so far. Okay, so remember when I said we'd go back to something when we were talking about the Roaring Night? Well... the ending of Chapter 5. Nothing will predict, because I believe it will either be a twist, cliffhanger, or both. There's 3 main ways I see it ending. Either the beginning of the roaring, a sad scene with the rain similar to the normal ending of Chapter 4, or interrupting us from seeing something big like the inside of the shelter or the identity of the Knight. I'm gonna be blatant here. I don't have direct evidence for any of these 3 individually. But all 4 chapters that we do have so far have had a cliffhanger ending. First pulling out the knife in Chapter 1, first opening a fountain in Chapter 2, the shelter door opening in Chapter 3, and on the weird route in Chapter 4, the mysterious call that Chris gets. I see no reason that Toby would just break the pattern here. So, yeah, all this probably means nothing, and all in all, Toby Fox is the most unpredictable person to ever create a video game. That's not to say this wasn't fun and that it's impossible that any of this turns out to be true, but it's nearly impossible that it's all true. We'll just have to wait until Chapter 5 releases. In the meantime, comment your theories that you have for Chapter 5, or if you're watching this in the future, where it is out already, then comment theories for future chapters. And make sure to like and subscribe for more. I go link blocked.